Welcome to Apex Esports League. I'm JT. Tonight we're on Project Cars 2 for PlayStation for the opening round of the Pagnum Imports GT4 Championship. Tonight's round we are at Circuit of the Americas National. And it is just a 4-round series to wrap us up for 2021. And tonight's session we've got 2 races. So we're heading over into a 15-minute practice, weather light cloud. Qualifying is 15 minutes, weather is light cloud. The sprint race is 11 laps. And then weather is also light cloud with no mandatory pit, and then we'll have a 9-minute break ahead into session 2, and qualifying 15 minutes, weather is clear, and the main race is 22 laps, weather will change from clear, light cloud through to heavy cloud with a mandatory pit. And we did just finish up the Pagnum Imports V8 Supercar Championship last week, the final round of Bafis Sami winning the championship, having a great result, finishing in second place in the final. However, we had DK Rush after qualifying third take victory in the final race, so well done there to DK. We'll jump over and check out the tracks over to the USA for Circuit of the Americas National. Track length of this version is 3.7 kilometers. There's 17 turns, so it is going to be fairly well paced, still yet technical. There's going to be a lot of opportunity through Sector 2, as you can see, that section being much more technical. A few of them, the drivers are not able to make it tonight. Well, we've got plenty of people off over to Bafis to watch the race this week. And a few work commitments as well. And it's going to be great seeing these guys out in the GT4s. Well, it's seeming to be mostly a Porsche series. We've started to see some variation in car selections as we're coming up to the lead up to tonight's race. Hey, Balaki. Join us for the stream. Yeah, Galen just mentioned you're at Bafis. Definitely jealous. Hope the weather is great down there and you get to see some great racing. join us for the stream. Don't forget to hit that follow button if you haven't done so you can be notified when we go live on Thursday nights for Project Cars and then Monday nights for iRacing. So plenty of racing action at the moment. Be able to tune in for our Ferrari 488 Championship on iRacing. Sounds like the Ginetta Mickliffe. Ginetta being the choice for Rooney as well. And the drivers it is all custom setups. They're not forced to the defaults. However, they will be required to use the same car for each round. They cannot swap once they've picked the car for tonight's round. They'll be locked in for the remainder of the series, so they can't swap over to a different manufacturer to suit the track more. Italy also in the Ginetta. Gallen over in the Porsche. Looks like Ginetta picked for Steph as well. Pretzel opting for the Porsche. You can see Marky Mark in the Ford Mustang. And Head Farmer, we don't see what he's doing. Doggy in the Ginetta. Originally registering for the KTM Crossbow, but deciding to change over to the Ginetta to do the series. I don't think anyone's opted for it. Grids have some Astons that were put down for some of the other drivers that haven't been able to make it tonight. Cool Boy in the Porsche. Yeah, that sounds like an Aston there. DK in the Aston. First time's now coming through. Filiminelli setting a 1:37.863. Oh, that's awesome. Balaki getting to use the VR motion simulators at Bathurst. These things are a lot of fun. Mark landing at 140. Rooney also with the 140s. Demon, Gallen and Coolboy in with the 141s. Definitely a couple of seconds off that pace, setting a 143.661. And Mickliffe lands a 137.3. Oh, what a slide by Mick. That was almost going to be a very impressive chain drift. And the Ginettas are slightly different to the rest of the cars. It doesn't have any of the stability controls, so it doesn't have traction control, unlike the other options to select in the GT4 category. Ooh, bit of chaos going on. Marky Marks, I think, may have collected in with Mickliffe, or is that Steph? Might have been Steph, yep. I think Pretzelnator's out on the track. Stuff. The Head Farmer too, I was looking to track down. Sounds like a roar of a Ginetta. I think someone's close to wrapping up a lap, not too far Philly. Two Janettas leading the way so far, setting a 137. DK gets in a 138 with the Aston. Yeah, who we've got. Able to stay on board with Philly. A burn around in his Janetta. And a very tricky turn one. Coming in with a lot of speed, it's rather sharp. And it does come off camber. Easing on that throttle. Then a nice fast sector for sector one. And that golden line curb to curb here. This is where we saw Mick go for that impressive drift. And you can see with the variation to the track there, cone's blocking it off, so it gets a little bit tricky here. You're not quite sure where to turn. Around the hairpin. Sector 2 will be where we'll see the greatest difference in split differences. You can carve up through here. Going to make up a lot of your lap time. You can see Philly having to really feather that throttle, lots of throttle control. He's got no traction control available for the car. And it is rather torquey. The final hairpin to come onto the final straight. Let's see what time he crosses with. So he was 0.4 away from his best. Extended that out to 0.7 through sector 3. Gallen sneaks a Porsche in to position 2. Now taking the second quickest time. There's not much difference between himself and Mick Cliff. Only 0.085 away. Not clearly seeing any manufacturer dominance at this stage. Yeah, fairly well mixed up. Rooney just takes the quickest time. 137 near flat. He's just parked that up. Oh no, Mick Cliff steals it back. Crosses in with a 136.7. An impressive lap time. Mick's still injured at the moment, so he's not going to be up to a lot of speed. Hopefully he can hold out for the round. Doesn't have any back and leg issues for the race. It's going to be making things difficult for him. But still be able to come in here and get out a 136.7 in the practice is very tight. Pretzelnator sneaks in a Porsche in the top 4, bumping Philly down. It affects cross line, doesn't improve that lap. DK in the Aston being dropped down the 7th position, but it's a 138. It's still a very good time. The big V8 in the Aston probably going to prove a little bit difficult going through sector 2. They're going to get some great speed on those straights. The similar case for Marky Mark with the Mustang. It's taken some damage to that Stang at the moment. just be residual visual damage. Car is handling well. I think it sounds fantastic. Not even jump in. Hear the purr from the Aston. 3.5 minutes remaining of practice. Then we head into the first qualifying for the Pagnum Imports GT4 Championship. There is 25 points on the line for taking pole position. And then 120 points for the win in the sprint race. Swap over to the Porsche. Sound to that of the Ginetta. The two are going to be fairly closely matched. It does have ABS and traction control. At Gallen's not running traction control on, but he does have ABS. You can see on the speedo diagram, or highlight when they have got ABS, stability control or traction control on. There's only ABS and traction control available in all the cars bar the Ford Mustang. These lap times are getting lower and lower. Look at this, 136.4 by Demon Effects. There's only 4.9 seconds separating 12 drivers. Getting some fantastic lap times out there. Going to be a very tight qualifying, especially over the course of the sprint race. A 5-second difference. We're going to see much variation in the grid over the course of 11 laps. Demon Effects just improving his own lap time again. His last lap was a 1:36.409, and then shaving a bit more off, landing a 1:36.397. There's just under a minute left of practice. Nice little drift through those corners in the Porsche with Pretzel. Marginally cuts that curb. When you join us for the stream, do jump into the chat. I can see the chat come through. And there is a bunch of sound effects controls on the stream. Sorry, underneath the stream that you can play on the stream. So that way you can applaud, cheer, boo, or some other fun sound effects to play around and make the stream yours, have some fun. Jeff's just improved her lap time, so she's moved up into the 10th position. She was 4.9 seconds away from the quickest time. It's now 4.3. That's pushed Coolboy in the 12th quickest time, but it's only 4.4 seconds difference. Is practice complete. Drivers now got 90 seconds to complete their last laps. We don't have Balaki here to be able to do some pre-race burnouts since he's all the way over at Bathurst watching the racing. Sure if, yeah, I was going to say, it sounded like Gallen was slowing down. Oh, and Head Farmer's just invalidated his lap. Getting a little bit slippery. Ginetta. That just leaves Coolboy out. Will he be able to improve his lap time? Got a 140.861 to beat. There we have open practice complete. I'll have a look and see if Callboy did improve that time. And not improving that time, so still in the 140.861. So Demon Effects taking the quickest lap with 136.397. This is only 3/10 away from Mick Cliff, so will we be seeing similar in the qualifying session? So over to the track now. Well, the drivers have got 15 minutes to qualify. And with 25 points on the line, they will claim pole to commence a good start on the championship. Qualifying in the top two will be very crucial with this track. Oh, Philly showing a little bit of lag going on. I just saw some damage appear. I'm not sure if it showed on the stream as well. But I did actually just see his front left completely buckle and then come back in. Actually, no connection issues for any drivers. You know, there's fairly bad weather around most of the place. Weather playing havoc for a few drivers over the course of the last series. Mick moves aside to let some traffic through. This car looking a bit buckled in on my screen. It's not so doing it on the broadcast though. A fair few lag spikes going on. Lucky it. Hopefully Gallen will do it. He had been forgetting to do it. It was good to see him jump in and do it last week again. A little bit loose, cold tyres. Track temp's going to be relatively cool. Game session time is now 10 AM. Qualifying started at 9 AM. Weather conditions remain the same, still light cloud cover. That first lap definitely going to be a little bit slippery out on cold tyres. Should start to see first timed laps coming up on the board in a moment. And Cliff was moving aside and letting a fair bit of traffic through, trying to probably strategically give himself a good clear run. Some great looking liveries for this class of car in the game. Ginetta's a great car. We have ran at an all Ginetta series before. I do think it was the GT4. Be having a one-make Ford Mustang series next year. You head over to our Facebook page here, fb.com/Apex Esports League. You can actually see the video of the trailer. You will see all the cars that we have planned for 2022 season. Or go to our social media link down below, the bit.ly/ApexCSL, which is case sensitive. That's to our shortened link to our YouTube channel. And our teaser trailer for 22 is all there. We will be opening the season with the Formula Rookies. We had a great run on in them just about probably a year before. If you do want to get involved in any of our races, all the information to be able to join up is all on our Facebook page. And that is all publicly available, so you don't even need an account to be able to do it. We'll have all the information so you can see it and get involved. If we can get enough drivers, we'll be looking at running a Division 2 for project cars, since we are limited to only 16 drivers on track. We're already getting a lot of interest for the Formula Rookies, so if you want to get involved, do that. We'll be glad to run a couple of divisions. Okay, we've got 3 136s. Demon Effects still showing that strong pace in the Ginetta. Ginetta dominating the top 3. Philly a full half second away from Demon's time. BK in the Aston setting up 138. That's a 138 flat. WrestleMania makes his way up into 5th position. Gurney squeezing another Ginetta in at the top end. He's only 1/10 away from Demon's time. It won't take much to improve on his lap to be able to steal that pole position. Oh, big broad slide. He's going to be blocking that track. Gets out of the way very quickly. It's invalidated his lap time, but he hasn't taken any damage. He decides to bring the car in. There's just under 8 minutes remaining. A little bit of spacing going on at the moment. Not seeing lap times as tight. We're seeing some much quicker times at the top of the standings. That's going to squeeze out. Oh, slippery there for Philly. Gets it under control. Not quite. And it's going to be rather difficult for the Ginettas to be trying to be racing through there as well. See what is this? DK is running. So he's running ABS. Hasn't got the traction control on. Maybe likely to flick it on at the start of the race, just to be able to lay down some traction and avoid the slip at the grid start. Marky Mark also some traction control. If you can drive without it, you will actually get a bit more speed out of your car. There we go, got those times brought down now. Coolboy landing in 140. I think that's an improvement on the practice time. I think it was a 140.8. There's a difference of about 4.9 seconds separating the drivers. It's 5.1 at this point. That did improve her time. Yeah, T-Rex, the Mustang, does have the looks. It is an impressive car. boys. The bloke running traction control and the ABS. Demon still holding that pole position. 5.5 minutes remaining of qualifying. The first three of the Janettas. I think we've got Gallen in fourth with the Porsche, followed by Nick and the Janetta DK in the Aston. And Bretzel in with the Porsches. There we go, seeing that spread of times now starting to get smaller. It's only 4.8 seconds. Beth getting a 1:41.67. And to be improving each lap. Must be coming close to. Yes, we might jump on board for a lap around for those of you that are joining us slightly later. Around for a lap. She's going to park it up. Yes, she does. Commentator's curse there. There we are. Pretty much same spot. That was turn one. On board the Porsche Pretzelnator. Got the traction control on. Oh, we've definitely jinxed him. Did not make wall contact. There's 3.5 minutes remaining. Hopefully we don't jinx DK. We're going to get a full complete lap from about 3 different cars here. This is halfway through Sector 2. We could just leave Pretzel heading into Sector 2. DK slowly bringing those lap times down. See if DK manages to further improve that lap time. Well, let's see. Well off his best time there. So going off in that first sector. So far for the standings, we have Demon Effect still holding that pole position. Getting down into the 1:35s. That is very quick. Getting me still trying to get some extra temp into them tyres. He's going to try and get more out of this car. He can get a quick 1:35. That's going to be pretty tight. He goes for a slide. He's slightly put off by traffic up ahead. He's going to try and slip that car through those corners. Billy currently qualifying in 4th. big slip. That's going to be it for his qualifying here if he makes some contact with the wall. Porsche getting stuck on the rev limiter. Not sure if that was in downshift. Wrapping up now. So this is last laps for the qualifying. Rennie, I think, just crossed the line in time. This to be his last. Oh no, he's brought it in. Doing some burnouts in the Porsche. DK's got a 1:37.101 to beat. He's bringing the pits, making himself familiar pit lane. That will prove crucial, especially in the main race. Mark's tracking a start here by the looks of it. .8 seconds separating 12 drivers. F also running pit entrance. Good boy coming onto main straight. Will he improve his time? Doesn't improve. Mark's across the line. I'm pretty sure it's AI driving his car around. So now we've got Gallen just doing some burnouts before the race. We'll wrap up the last 10 seconds. Porsche doing some very impressive circle work. There we have results for the opening race of the Pagnum Imports GT4 Championship. Demon Effects taking pole position for 5.852. So only driver to get into the 135s, but only still just under 2 tenths away was Rooney in second place, and the rest of the grid is Mick Cliff, Philly Manilli, Gallen 350, DK Rush, Pretzelnator, Head Farmer, Marky Mark, Doggy Daddy, Steph, and Coolboy. And only 4.8 seconds separating the grid, so it's very tight indeed. So over to the grid now. Hey, Dirty Monkey, to join us. Yes, that was a very good lap out there. The driver's got a couple of minutes to get their race setups all sorted, ready for the countdown to the start of the opening race. Should be in for a good spot. Be able to see the start. Will be interesting. We've got the Ginettas leading up the front. The first four are Ginettas. But they're going to have to be very cautious of the wheel spin. Hey, Sami, thanks for joining us. As their cars won't have traction control. I'll actually just bring up Gallen and see if they're going to be opting to use traction control. They didn't activate it prior. As soon as it starts to count the lights down, they could very well be quickly flicking the traction control on just to try and control that spin at the start. I could definitely see the Porsches and DK in the Aston make a move on those Ginettas off the lights. and is a very wide track. Easily fits 6 of these cars along here. Going to be interesting to see how it goes. Lights about to go green for the opening race. And a delayed start by the Ginettas. You can see Gallen ducking up between the middle of them. Pretzel also going for it, but ends up getting stuck in behind. We're too wide, door to door. Demon and Gallen. Ooh, I'm not sure who that is that just spun out. I think that was Mick Cliff. Not sure if there was contact there. He was pretty close to another car, but I didn't think it was actually a bit of slip. Ooh, a little bit of a shunt, Philly. A couple of taps to the tail of Gallen. Damon pulling away very quickly in that Ginetta. Philly looking to get around. He's already probing that inside line. Pretzel also hanging on. He's got Rooney trying to squeeze in. These Porsches having a hard time with these Ginettas at the moment. Okay, still holding well. A little bit of understeer showing in that car. It'll be a little bit heavier to steer around. Rooney and Pretzel still side by side. Oh, nearly a tap. There is no room between those two. I think he's going to commit to him for this corner, but not enough. Porsche gets a much tighter line. Gallen starting to pull away from Philly. It seemed to be that the Porsches were able to get a great run in on that final turn. Giving them a tad bit of an advantage going down pit straight. DK starting to close in. Oh, we've just had Rooney go off. Oh, there's been a spin and a flip. I think that's Pretzel's car. It's been rolled over. Not sure if there was a tap or if he'd gone into a spin out in front of possibly Rooney. And that's flipped him out and over. Car looks reasonably okay considering. He's got Cool Boy just in behind him. Cliff and Doggy Daddy getting a bit bruised and battered. And their race leader and pole setting driver Demon FX lying out ahead. It's going to be hard to stop now that he's out at front. He's going to have to make sure he gets every line correct. The remaining 8 laps. It's going to be a little bit difficult to try and catch Demon with the pace he's been getting. However, a slight mistake could easily have that all come undone. Philly also teetering with that gap. Ed Palmer currently in 6th position. Marky Mark's just gone for a spin. So we saw Pretzel Nader get flipped. Really an interesting one to look back on the replay later. Yeah, no worries, Dirty. There's definitely room. Shoot you through an invite to the session. Yeah, we got several that are away. And others with work commitments interfering. A couple of lucky ones that are over watching the great race. Steph up in 5th position at the moment. A little bit slippery on that final corner. At lap a 140. She's getting a very similar race pace. Oh, DK has dropped right off. At last lap, a 2-minute 23. Not sure if he's taken damage. Mickliffe also way back after that early turnaround in lap 1. Oh no, Demon Effects has made a mistake. A little bit slippery. That's allowed Gallen to take the lead. Gallen's out in the front. He's definitely going to have a great advantage. That ball should be slightly better handled through Sector 2. And they're seeming to get a great run through turn 1 and the final corner. And putting them at a great advantage down pit straight. Gallen can hang on to that. He's going to further that lead that he has over Philly. Demon FX recovers only 4.4 seconds away. Get some very tight, consistent lap times. He could potentially get back up there and have a go at taking back that race lead. And we just had Head Farmer spin out. Oh, he's on the racing line there. Gets moved out of the way. That's Doggy Daddy just coming around. He's almost going to put them side by side for turn 1. Will Head Farmer let Doggy take that race position? Oh, and he did just get tapped. Stops to redress it. Mick comes around the corner. Doggy still stopped. Not sure if that was a little bit of oversteer that actually may have caused Head Farmer to come back across in front of Doggy Daddy. Steph's starting to quickly catch up to Pretzelnator. She was up in 5th position. Lost a spot, but then quickly covering back some ground. PK is trying to reclaim some positions. Racing really tight behind Doggy Daddy. See that Aston really wanting to pull away much quicker than the Janetta. Just sneaks around on then for an outside pass, but it's going to put him on a pretty awkward line. And manages to hold that through. Dirty, gonna do it for Sami in the KTM. I think the KTM would probably be a lot of fun to actually throw around Circuit of the Americas. Sector 2, it'd probably hold rather nicely. Down lap 6 of 11, Gallen is leading the way. Demon closing that gap down. He was 5.5 seconds away when he recovered from that mistake. That's going to see Philly starting to feel a bit of pressure. On the roof of Demon FX. His last lap was a 1:37.6. Billy last lap 1:39.1 and Gallon at 1:38.2. Demon's got some huge pace. You can see Gallon just up ahead. He can easily reclaim back this race lead if he keeps this pace up. The car starting to feel a little bit flighty. Getting down to qualifying fuel loads now. We did see the Ginettas starting to struggle in the end of the qualifying session once those fuel loads were getting very light. A lot of understeer for Gallon. Not sure if that's going to possibly throw him a slowdown. It's probably, if it is, it's probably just better off just to keep going and just take 1 second. It's actually Gallon having the quickest previous lap at 1:38.051. Philly in the 2:52 and Demon 6:02. Porsche probably going to prove to be able to be a lot more stable in the last few laps compared to that of the Ginettas. Nick Cliff tucking right in behind Marky Mark down pit straight. Very different lines between the two here. Not sure if that was Marky Mark giving the line to Mick to make a pass. Stang being a little less nimble through this sector. Slightly sluggish, but it's going to have great top end speed. Yeah, still trying to close that gap in. Oh, we've just had Demon FX pass. Philly on pit straight. Carried a great run in by the looks of it through the final corner. Philly's lap time 2 seconds slower than that of his previous lap. Demon's got 4.5 seconds to try and catch up to Gallon. There's only 2 laps to go. Philly's looking to reclaim back position too. Still trying to hunt down Pretzel's Porsche. Marky Mark not too far behind. He hasn't let Mick get away too quickly. And seen really close that gap in on the straight. Oh, he dives in for a pass. That's going to put him out wide. That was a lot of speed to try and shave off on that tight trajectory. There's 2 laps to go. Gallon is leading by 3.9 seconds. That gap is starting to quickly close in. See if he improves his 138.6. Yes, that's a 138.4. And look at Dean and see why he's closing that gap on the race lead. 137.5. Both Demon and Philly a little bit slippery it appeared coming through turn 1. The car's starting to get rather light. Steph getting much closer now. She's only a 10th away from Pretzel. That Porsche getting away through that corner. Oh, and Demon FX has just copped himself a slowdown. He's wearing a 1 second post-race time penalty. It's going to be beneficial to Philly. All he's got to do is just stick to the tail of Demon. Being on lap 10 of 11, he doesn't need to make the pass here. It's highly unlikely he'd be able to catch up and get going unless he makes a very big crucial error. Philly will definitely be able to take back position 2. Look out, we do have Rooney bringing it up. Some massive pace at the moment. Carried at 137 the last lap, 138.185. Only 0.04 away from last lap of Gallant. Also slippery in turn 1. Those Janettas not holding very nicely. I think that's where we may have also potentially seen the slowdown being issued to Demon. They are running wide on that first corner. That's going to make them slow down quite significantly to the point that you'd lose a position anyway. So you might as well just take that 1 second and hope to try and put that gap over your opponent. Lucky Mark currently in 11th. We have Doggy Daddy and the Head Farmer all closely battling it out for position 10 on the final laps. Marky Mark looks to go for big speed with that late brake. Carried a lot of speed in. We saw the similar before in turn 1. It's cost him. He's carrying a lot more weight. Head Farmer swings out on the slipstream. Passes Doggy Daddy, but he's going to have to try and really bring that car up before turn 1. A little bit slippery, and there we have Gallant crosses the line, taking the checkers for the opening race of the Pagnum Imports GT4 Championship. Demon Effects crosses in 2nd position. Billy in 3rd, so managing to be able to get that 2nd ahead. Rooney in position 4. Steph on approach to home now. Managing to get around Pretzelnator. Good way to start the opening race in position 5. Well done to Steph. Pretzel taking some damage by the look of it. Him and Coolboy racing right to the finish line. That was super close between the two. Just finishing just only a smidgen between each other. And the AIs making contact. So well done. 6th and 7th there for Pretzel and Coolboy. Mitcliffe in 8th. DK in 9th. Doggy Daddy battling it out for Head Farmer here. Oh, they're going to be side by side. It was just tapped him coming into the final corner. Made him lose a couple of positions. I think that may have actually been Head Farmer just slightly off owning that track position. And there we have results for the opening race of the GT4 Championship. Gallen 350 taking the top of the podium with the victory. A very great drive for Gallen in that Porsche. Ahead of, we've got what, next four drivers being in the Genettas. So Porsche coming out on top in the end. We have Demon Effects in P2. Philly Manilli in P3, and then the rest of the standings we have Rooney, Steph, Fretzel, Coolboy, Mickcliffe, DK, Doggy Daddy, Marky Mark, and the Head Farmer. And I'm in a break as we get ready for session 2. Then we've got 15 minutes of qualifying, and then the main race with 22 laps. And there is a mandatory pit, so it's going to be exciting to see. And then we've got Dirty Monkey jumping in for a drive as well, so it'll be good to see him out on track with the guys. So do stay tuned. We'll be back very shortly. And welcome back for session 2. Just had Gallon 350 take the opening win for round 1, race 1. Now into session 2, where we've got 15 minutes of qualifying. We're in the USA for Circuit of the Americas National. Track length is 3.7 kilometers and there's 17 turns. And then those drivers were mentioning, the Ginettas were feeling a little bit slippery towards that back end. Gallon in the Porsche starting to dominate towards the end of the race. So will we be able to see the same happen again over the course of 22 laps? Will we see a little bit of a different field out there? Will those Ginettas have to pit in rather early? So we'll be heading over into pit lane in a moment. You just have Dirty Monkey in the session and disconnected as it was loading in. Hopefully you can jump back in. And Doggy Daddy apparently not getting the right setup loaded as he went into the race. Drivers like to make sure they have a pit strategy set. They will need to last out the course of the 22 laps. It'll be interesting to see how they are faring for tyres, whether they can hold out for the 22 laps or if they will be going in for some tyre changes. Been finding drivers have actually been trying to make the little tyres last out over the course of the last couple of series. And we do have accelerated tyre wear set so that we can be simulating longer races. Really trying to get some temp into those tyres. If you are just joining us for the stream as well, welcome aboard and don't forget to hit that follow button to go live with Project Cars 2 on Thursday night, 7:30 PM Australian Eastern Daylight Time. We also have iRacing on Monday nights at 7:30 PM as well. After more racing, will be live with the Ferrari 488s on Monday. They were a pleasure to watch race around Red Bull Ring just this Monday gone. I've seen some great tight racing already in the GT4s. This is going to make up for a great series. We haven't done a GT4 championship with Apex Esports League. We have picked out GT4 cars for a one-make series. From memory, we did when we ran the one-make Ginettas, I think it was the GT4 variant. We did run the Porsche Cayman, which is the GT4 from this one. Our second series for 2022 will be the Porsche Cayman. We'll be seeing a full field of these cars going around for that series. There's going to be some great fast technical tracks for them to throw the Porsche around. Practice and qualifying just in session 1, the Ginettas heavily dominating. Having Gallon get a fantastic start at the lights, managing to sneak up into position 2, and then held on behind Demon for as long as he could. He was furthering that gap, and then after a mistake, costing him the race lead. There we go, first time starting to come through now. Philly lands at 1:37, first timed lap. They're mucking around for his first time lap there. Game session time is now 1 PM. Weather conditions are now clear. There's going to be much higher track temperatures compared to that of session 1. There's going to be a lot more stick on the track. Rooney gets in a 1:36. From the sounds of the spectacular crash we had with Pretzel being flipped over through sector 2. Sounded like he did actually start to spin out through the corner, start to go into a roll, and then got flipped from oncoming traffic. Brings that back in. DK was holding well with the Aston for the first part of the race. A bit of incident making him drop back. Actually, some better luck through the course of the 22 laps. Jeff eagerly wanting to get into the session as soon as possible after a fantastic result in race 1. Well done to Steph, taking 5th position. It's a great way to start. Already qualifying with a 1:40.9. In the quick 1:40s in the first session. And for a first time lap in the 1:40.9, she really scraped that down a fair bit. Had 4.8 seconds separating qualifying. Nick Cliff also showing a quick pace out there, a 1:37.172. Billy's just gone off same as Steph. She's had her lap time validated, she's brought it into the pits. Jump on board for a lap. Dirty Monkey's rejoined back in. Oh, he's left, he's having issues getting back in, he's joining again. He's having all sorts of tech issues. We're going to have Rooney park the car up, of course, as we jump on board. They either park up or we cause them to spin. They clearly don't want the added weight from our camera. There we go. Jump on board with Cool Boy for a lap around in the Porsche. We don't cause any bad luck for him. A bit of understeer showing through turn 1. Car did really bog down out of the corner exits. It did very nicely. He's playing with the throttle through this section, curb to curb. A little bit of side squeal, he's got that traction control on, which would be causing a little bit of that understeer. Down through the hairpin. Lights down nicely out of that hairpin. Around the double hair. Hairpins are very difficult with the views in this game, not being able to look into the corners. There's a car parked up on the side there. I'm not sure who that is. I think that Janetta, I'm sure whose it is. Cool Boys qualified for 139.8 first session, or he's just misjudged that last corner, turn 17 costing him. He's already done a 139.877, so he's beat his qualifying from session 1. That's invalidated his lap. Going wide on that last corner is going to invalidate this lap as well, with only 5 minutes remaining in the session. Bringing the car into the pits now isn't going to see you be able to get out there for a good lap. You'll just have to use that next lap just to keep temping those tyres and brakes. Then have another crack at a golden lap. Demon Effects coming in and showing us how it's done again, setting a 135. Showed massive pace throughout the course of the race. One little mistake, seeing him spin and lose that race lead. We'll just park the car up. Billy currently qualifying in second. Dirty Monkeys still having connection issues trying to get in. Rennie tucking in for a nice slipstream. Coming down to that final straight to the last corner. Didn't get balked at all coming through, so it's going to be very helpful there. That pushes him up into position 2. That was a 136.332. Just under 4 tenths from Demon's time. That's Cool Boy just in behind him. That was actually real well timed, catching up to him at that position. Cool Boy managing to let Rooney slip through at the right time. Great advantage to Rooney's lap. Rooney's really pushing this car to its limits. Every corner that tail is slipping out. However, with this car over the course of 22 laps, you could potentially see them having to opt out for some harder compound tyres to be able to last it out. Otherwise, they will be needing to come in and swap out for some rubber. And the game is very different depending on which car and classes as to whether they do all the wheels at once, or whether they do them one by one, or whether they do fronts and then backs. If the drivers haven't been in and tested their pit strategies, they could find themselves in for a bit of a surprise when they head into the pits. With the different makes of cars out there, could we see some potential longer pit stops? And look at Rooney with how he was pushing that. Janetta comes through and steals pole position. 135.838. Just over a tenth from Demon's time. That happened. Doggy Daddy ended up being out having his lap time invalidated. Ed Farmer a little bit off pace at the moment. There's only a minute 30 remaining of qualifying. Went into the sprint race with 4.8 seconds separating the 12 cars. Farmer won't be impressed with that. He's got a minute to be able to get that car back around across the finish line, to be able to get one more lap in. He's not going to be able to take it too easy. don't think he's going to be able to get in another timed lap. This is going to be it. He seems to be struggling with the car a little bit at the moment. Oh, and Steph's just invalidated that lap, and this lap is probably also been invalidated. Yeah, she'll park that car up. That's done it for her. Always doesn't have enough time to be able to cross the line. He was narrowly there. A few more seconds, he would have crossed the line and had enough time to get one more lap in. That only leaves Bruni, Pretzel, and Marky Mark. Hear the lock of the wheels as he brakes down to that corner. You're noticing in the race, the Mustang really locking up under brakes. He's a heavy beast, and that's done it for him for his qualifying. There we are, all drivers complete for final qualifying for round one. Rooney 9915 taking pole position. Then the rest of the grid, we have Demon Effects starting from P2, Philly Manili, Mickliffe, DK, Gallen, Pretzelnator, Marky Mark, Steph, Coolboy, Doggy Daddy, and the Head Farmer. 15 seconds separating the grid, but Head Farmer not having a crash hot lap then, and then just failing just to get across the line in time to be able to get another qualifying lap in. I'm sure he would have got that down. He did qualify very strongly in the first session. Over to the track now. Ready for the final race of round one of the Pagnum Imports GT4 Championship. And again, we have the four Janettas at the front end. I think it's the same drivers. It's mixed up in order this time. Gallen a little ways back compared to before. He was on the other side of the track and he got a very good start. Moved up from 5th position into 2nd off the lights. I was very lucky he did so as well. We had Pretzelnator tucking up and around him and ended up in that big flip. And also seeing Mickliffe turned around, I think, in turn 1. This time we've got DK starting from position 5. Not sure how the Aston's going to settle in getting off from the lights. You know, all the drivers hit ready. I think I'm getting ready to see the lights go green for the main race of round 1. Another great start by Gallen. Takes 1-2 positions. Pretzelnator also getting up along that inside. He's along the inside of DK. Gallen and Billy door to door through turn 1. 2 Porsches take a couple of positions just off the first corner. And look at Philly tucking right in behind Rooney. He's already looking to get past. Damon dropped back into 5th position. Oh, the cameraman's a little bit slow to try and catch up. These Porsches flying out ahead. Yep. Coolboy and Staffer, is that Coolboy and Mickliffe? They were side by side. Mick just tucks back in. Coolboy looking for an opportunity that is really tight. Held a nice line going in for an inside pass. A little bit of rubbing going on. Oh, Phillies just ducked off. Not sure what's going on there. That may be a slowdown that he's doing. Erratic going on. Not sure what happened. There's a distraction that went on for him. Where he did actually exceed track limits and possibly had to slow down. This is how tight the first race was. The time second penalty could definitely cost you. That sees Gallen move up into position 2. That speed being carried through sector 2. Billy Ginetta quickly closing in on Gallen. I've loaded these cars up with enough fuel to get through the 22 laps. Damon unable to shake DK. At Aston hanging onto the tail of the Ginetta. Oh, Cool Boy's just won himself a post-race time penalty. Nick Cliff looking to try and get around. He's probing for a spot to get around. Battling it out for position just before. Nice pass. Carrying some great mid-corner speed. Run him on down through to the final corner. A little bit of oversteer for Mick, a little bit of understeer. Damon into the pits already. Not sure if he's taken damage. We've got Nick and Coolboy still battling it out. There was a quick position change between the two. And Billy was starting to close down on Gallen, but he's starting to creep away. His last lap at 137.2, where Philly set a 138.7. DK now setting his sights on Pretzel. The Aston get around the Porsche. There was a very wide line by Pretzel. But Aston really handling well at the moment. He's quickly closing down on Pretzel. Nearly a full second quicker last lap. He can stay nice and close. He's going to get a great slipstream coming down on pit straight. I don't think he's close enough to be able to put himself in a line to go for a pass. And Gallen now closing down on our race leader Rooney. Gallen looking to try and make it a double win for the opening round. Yeah, so it was a great start, nice and clean. DK still trying to catch that gap on Pretzel. I'll jump on board for a view from there, but I don't want to jinx DK. Might just go on the roof of DK's car as he's hunting down Pretzel's Porsche. nice line. He's carrying a lot of speed. You hear a lot of tyre squeal going ahead from Pretzel. Porsche pulls away just slightly quicker. Heading into the pits now, doesn't appear to have taken any damage. Sure, strategy may be here. Really starting to close the gap in on Gallen again. Gallen has dropped away from Rooney. His last lap 2 seconds lower. Really nearly a second quicker than Gallen. Oh boy, starting to catch up on Pretzelnator. DK moving up to position 4. After Pretzel making mistakes, so it looks like he's got a little bit of a scrape on that front. Yeah, Dirty, we did see you join and leave a fair few times in the qualifying session. Thought you must have been having some tech issues trying to connect it all up. Unfortunately, we couldn't see you on track. Rooney leading on lap 6 of 22. Pretzel into the pits now. Like he's contending with some damage. Rooney now putting a nice lead, 3.6 seconds. He's 9/10 quicker than Gallen on the last lap. He's going to be furthering that gap. He's going to need to push out as much time as he can. Mandatory pit is going to come into play. And there's a few post-race slowdowns given. Philly wearing one, as well as Cool Boy, Doggy Daddy and Steph. No, it didn't appear to be any lag spikes while you're joining in and out. Dirty. I think it was more so probably not letting you in whatsoever. It was being a little bit strange. Gallen loses a little bit more time where he went wide on that last corner. And 17 causing some issues. Damon having pit rather early. Seeing him fall into 9th position. However, if he can last out the remaining laps, he's only 30 seconds away from the race lead. So it's not going to be too drastic. He's going to recover a lot of positions as the rest start to pit in. Will be rather interesting just to when they decide to pit in. Ed Farmer moving aside and letting Demon Effects through. Mike Narkin, the Mustang, currently running 7th. He's got 3 seconds till he catches up to Coolboy. There's a bit of a gap to go between 6th and 5th. About 9 seconds separating Coolboy and Mick. Mick not too far away from DK. Mick can get a good run. He can probably start to close that gap down pretty quickly on DK. It'll be interesting just to see how Gaston goes next week with Fuji. Quite long straights, I think it's going to be a good advantage to the car. His third position, currently got Philly. We'll bring up the timings just to see what everyone's wearing. So it's all 1 second time penalties. So it's just exceeding track limits. Those of you that may not be aware, the red number on the standings board indicates they have received a post-race time penalty. Rooney's last lap was a 1:36. Gallen a 1:37.998. It's about 1.1 seconds quicker than Philly on that last lap. He's starting to pull away. If Rooney pushing out times like that, he's going to further that gap. Oh, but he makes a mistake. He's pushed the car very hard. Rolled that tail in. He may have a little bit of rear aero damage there. That's cost him several seconds. Gallen's going to be catching up to him very quickly now. It was around this point that we saw the Jetta starting to slip around a lot. Fuel loads were very light. They were getting down to about 10 litres at this stage. I wouldn't be surprised just how much the tail on these things like to slip through. They almost are drifting the car through most of Sector 2. There would be a lot of tyre wear. And it is a very nice car, very quick, but it is very unforgiving. Once you start to get that car into a little bit of a slip, start to fish it, will generally result into a spin. Philly heading into the pits. Getting in close to that halfway mark. Coolboy also peeling off into the pits. Demon Effects will recover a couple of positions here. He has already been in pits. That moves him up into P5. Got Marky Mark in behind him. Mark has not been in pit, I believe. Demon trailing from the leader by 31 seconds. I think that's probably about 25 to 30 seconds for a pit stop. Rooney back on track with some fast laps again. That was a 1:37.6, Gallen a 1:38.7. 1.1 difference there. Billy, after his pit, entered the race in position 7, just ahead of the head farmer. Got about 5 seconds between himself and position 6. Mike will need to head into the pits at some stage. Carrying enough fuel. We'll just see, depending on how the tyres are holding out, I would imagine they'd be holding it okay. However, we were noticing a fair bit of lock-up going on coming into the corners. Bang, proving a little bit more difficult to pull up a bit quicker. Cliff will now move up into position 3 as DK goes into the pits. We should see Demon Effects reclaim another position here as well. Going to be a very quick pit stop for DK to get back out and take back the lead. Not the lead, but maintain that position. Demon moves up into P4. Making his way out now. We have Coolboy making his way down pit straight. It's going to be more than enough time for DK to get back out on track. I do think Coolboy has pit. Really quickly catching up to Mark. We will need to see our race leaders head into the pits at some stage. When will they do so is going to be quite interesting. Some lap traffic starting to catch up now. There's Pretzelnator just up ahead of Rooney. He's currently on lap 12. Rooney's going to have to try and get around. Try and not lose any time while doing so. That's also Doggy Daddy just immediately ahead. There's only 4 seconds separating the two up ahead. Having a couple of close cars coming up on the lapping could definitely be an advantage to Gallen. He could close that gap in a little bit. Rooney can try and close that gap on the back markers. Through this last sector, he's going to have a very good run to be able to get around. Lots of open space to make the pass. Be able to slipstream along and get a very good run, which will then further his lead over Gallen. We've got another car going into the pits there. That's Doggy Daddy, it's just peeled off. That's one less car to get around. Pretzel waves Rooney around just before the technical section. As he would have been caught up behind. Would have been very difficult to try and get around. Hopefully that doesn't catch Gallen up. Really gets around Marky Mark. Stoggy Daniels is pulled up on pit exit. Watching for that blue flag. Rooney's got Pretzel in between himself and Gallen. Very wide on that corner again. And 17 catching him off guard a little. Farmer now closing down on Marky Mark. Only a few tenths away. Beth and Pretzel both close. Not sure. Feels some contact maybe, but Steph's just gone for a spin. We're both just showing the same time. Are they on different laps? No, they're on lap 14. In goes Head Farmer for the East Pit. Rooney maintains that lead. He's had a great race. Can he hold off for 7 laps? He needs to get in and pit. Still got Pretzelnader in between himself and Gallen in P2. Pretzel not really slowing pace at all. Gallen runs wide on that corner again. BK currently in position 7, closing down on Marky Mark. Gets out on the outside line looking for a pass. Carries a heap of speed, it's going to put him slightly offline for the next corner. Only crosses over in front, but it gets him on the inside line for the following. Lovely pass by DK. And slightly wide on the last corner. Marky Mark not giving up, he's still hanging on. There's only 6 laps remaining. Rooney's leading by 2 seconds. Gallen's gotten around Pretzelnader. He's going to be hunting down Rooney. These two do need to head into the pits. I was just about to say Mick Cliff was needing to as well, so he's now pitting in on lap 16. Hasn't quite crossed the line. His pit box is before the finish line. And Demon having pit rather early. So they got 5 laps to go. That's moved him up into position 3. 33 seconds away from the race lead. Keep an eye on just how long that actually will be adding to the lap times. About 22 seconds added to that lap. Each time he crosses the line. So keep an eye on his time as he crosses the line here. I think it's about an extra 10 seconds. That means Demon is definitely within shot of potentially taking the race lead by the time Gallen and Rooney both head into the pits. With Demon having pit rather early. That wasn't anticipated. Depending on how he's going for tyre wear. Now that car holds out in those last few laps. Hopefully doesn't need to head back into the pits so that car starts becoming a little bit slippery. Billy carries some massive speed around, trying to get around Mick. Carrying a lot more speed for his last couple of corners. So we're looking at 20 to 25 seconds for a pit stop. Just depending on what they're doing, whether they're swapping out tyres, and I'm not sure if it is varied depending on the manufacturer as to how they swap out tyres. They're in a little bit off pace compared to our race leaders at this stage. A little bit off. It's going to be enough to try and close that gap in so that when they head into the pits that he can get them whilst they're in the pit stalls. Okay, way through the standings. Currently have Doggy Daddy in 12th position. F991 in 11th. Head Farmer running in 10th position. Resonator in 9th. Cool Boy currently running in 8th. Marky in 7th position. DK Rush in 6th. He's about 11 seconds away from Philly. Philly side by side down pit straight. He's going to show a lot of speed off the take. This tight line through turn 1. Nick Cliff allowing him right away through the corner. He's going to have Nick in 5th, Philly in 4th. Steven Effects in 3rd position. Gallen in 2nd, and he's quickly closing that gap on Rooney. These two needing the pit. That's very wide. Cuts across on the dirt. Not sure if that gives him a slowdown request or not by the race director, but seems to allow a lot of speed to be carried. Yeah, got that gap down to under a second. 2 laps to go, and these two do need to pit. They're keeping very similarly time to the Demon effects. Unless a mistake is made between these two. I think it's going to be hard for Demon to try and come out in the race lead. Will be very close. They could only be about 5 or 6 seconds away. These guys are probably going to pit at the very last moment. Rennie's Ginetta possibly starting to slow up just a little bit. Some more back markers coming up that they're going to have to get around. It's probably just better for them to actually head into the pits on this lap. They both opt to stay out on track. Cool Boy moves aside and the slows letting them through on pit straight. Lovely racecraft there by Cool Boy. Not slowing up our race leaders on, and Rooney slips. He should have probably pit this lap. Just seeing the Ginetta start to get slippery in these last couple of laps. That's probably going to cost him big time here. Probably pushing that car to its utmost limits. His race pace was starting to drop off. Nearly a second slower to that of Gallant's. We did see that happening with Demon in the first race after having led for most of the race. Once that car started to get a little bit slippery, losing that position, allowing Gallant to take the race lead. Almost utilising that Porsche just to tuck in nicely and patiently wait just to see that Ginetta start to dwindle away at lap times, get a little bit loose. Whatever that was. I'd say we're racing rather close. It could have been badly for both of them. Could have been some of a contact situation. Both needing to go into the pits now. These two will be racing in pit lane. And it looked like Rooney only just pulled that car up in time. Demon effects. Makes his way around the head farmer. Gallon's away. Rooney's still getting service. I think he's swapped out for some tyres. I don't think Gallon swapped rubber at all. He only had a second lead over Rooney. That's a much longer pit stop. 5 litres of fuel. Oh, that's not the button I wanted to push. That's the final lap. Looks like it'll be a win for Gallon unless something drastically goes wrong. Demon Effects comes out only a couple of seconds away from position 2. Rooney is wearing a 1 second post-race time penalty. Demon can see that on his heads-up display. All he's got to do is just close in and sit on his tail. But Demon's been out on track a lot longer than what Rooney has. Rooney's going to have fresher rubber out there. Both probably equally fatigued. With Rooney opting to pit in at a very late moment, with also Demon pitting rather early. Here comes Gallant, turn 17. Going to be a double win for the opening round. Flush of the lights. Impressive drive tonight. What a way to start an opening round. A double win. Congratulations. And Rooney is just outside the 1 second mark. He has no time to be able to slow down. Will he lose P2? He holds that position. He's just ahead. Very close. Position 2 for Rooney and Demon Effects in 3rd. And Mick Cliff bringing it up in 4th position. Well done to Mick and to Philly in 5th. DK coming up in 6th position. Well done to DK. Boy currently running 7th for 70 seconds to finish up last laps. To the home stretch for Coolboy. Across the line in 7th position. Well done to Coolboy taking 7th. Pretzelin, Mark, racing it down the final straight. Taking 8th and 9th. There we have final results for the main race of round 1, Gallon 350, taking a double win tonight. So congratulations. And then also on the podium is Rooney and Demon FX taking 2nd and 3rd place. And the rest of the standings is Mick Cliff, Philly Manilli, DK Rush, Coolboy, Mark, Pretzelnator, Steph, Head Farmer, Doggy Daddy in 12th position. And we'll be inviting in our podium finishers for a chat. So if you've got any questions to throw at the drivers, do so. I can relay that to them. So we'll have Gallon, Rooney and Demon in here in a moment. As always, just take a short moment to get out of the menus while adding them into it. There we are, invites sent through to our podium finishers. And we'll scan through the list, see who got the fastest lap bonus points. I think it was Pretzel that got fastest lap in the first race. I forgot to actually have a look. It looks like it's a 1:36 taking the fastest lap. And it looks like Rooney a 1:36.864. There we are, our podium finishers. Congratulations, Gallon, double win.
Yeah, thanks. I wasn't expecting it, but certainly paid off in the end. It was an awesome race. Rooney pulled away and had a little bit of a moment, and I caught back up, and then he pulled away again, and I think it fried his tyres in the end.
Yeah, I think very similar to what happened in race 1. Just patiently waiting behind the Ginetta and start to see it get a little bit slippery on those last few laps.
Yeah, definitely. It certainly paid off in the end. But it was a tight race, and it kept me honest all the way through. Well done.
Yeah, congrats, Rooney. Good drive.
Yeah, cheers. Thank you.
For the majority of the race there.
Yeah, a little bit disappointing, but a couple of mistakes, so that's what happens.
Yeah, but then also getting the fastest lap for that race. So getting an extra 10 points will help there for sure.
Yep. Cheers, thank you.
Well done on that, Rooney. Fastest lap during race pace. That's insane.
And congrats, Demon, on the podium.
Yeah, thank you very much, JT. Well done, Gallon. Well done, Rooney.
Thanks, mate.
I've got those Porsches are quick off the line at the start. They just fly. And then I was on the outside at turn 1, so I fell back to like about 4th. So I thought I've got to do something different here. So I pitted on lap 2 and just tried to see what I can do. I ran into a little bit of traffic, but I wouldn't have caught Rooney or Gallon anyway. I think the Ginettas just burn up their rear tyres a lot more than the Porsche. So look at something there for next week.
A lot of rear slip from side for the Ginettas for sure.
Yeah, from
that was-
about lap 15, you really had to be easy on the throttle, so couldn't really get out of the corners quickly.
I was losing the rears under brakes as well.
I don't know what tyres you guys were running in those, but I was running the hards on the Porsche. And
Yeah.
Yeah,
Me too.
yeah. Race 1 I
Loved it.
ran the softs, and race 2 I ran the hards.
yeah, it was well done. Well done to everybody, and a big shout out to Steph in the first race. That's her best finish. She's done awesome.
Congratulations to Steph. Yeah, it was great driving by all. It was a really good race.
Thank you, JT.
Yep, thanks
No
JT,
worries.
thanks boys.
Yeah, it'll be
Paganium.
interesting to see who's a little bit more advantaged at Fuji. We may see some of the higher engined cars take a bit more advantage on those longer straights, so it might be very interesting.
Yeah,
I'd say so.
crazy.
Alright.
Thank you all. Have a good
Congratulations,
night.
guys.
Yep,
That's
thank
just-
you.
Cheers.
And there we have Gallon 350 taking a double win, Rooney in P2 and Demon FX. And of course, as Gallon mentioned, thank you to our sponsors of the league, Pagnum Advanced Simulation and Next Level Racing. And next week we do have the round 2. We have, if I can bring up the correct screen, we have Fuji GP for round 2, and it is only 4 rounds for this to take us out to the end of 2021, and it's going to be some very interesting racing at Fuji GP, where we see some of the bigger engine cars dominate at Fuji. It's still rather technical, but some good fast straights, so it'll be rather interesting to see how they fare. So do hit that follow button if you haven't done so you'll be notified when we go live. We will be live again on Monday night for iRacing. Otherwise, we'll be back again same time, 7:30 PM on Thursday next week for round 2 of the Pagnum Imports GT4 Championship. Thanks for tuning in, and see you trackside next time.